Imagine this. You're sitting in a cozy coffee shop, scrolling through news headlines, or perhaps catching up on the latest social media posts. A familiar name pops up, Warren Buffett. You read a snippet about his immense wealth and legendary status in the world of investing. Perhaps another article flashes by, detailing the meteoric rise of Amazon and its founder, Jeff Bezos. These figures almost seem larger than life, their success stories distant and unattainable. But here's the truth. The lessons hidden within their journeys can apply to anyone, even if you're not managing billions of dollars or launching groundbreaking tech companies. The desire for wealth and success is deeply rooted in human nature. We dream of financial freedom, comfortable lifestyles, and the security that money can provide. Yet, as we chase after bigger salaries and promotions, we often overlook a crucial piece of the puzzle: the ability to control our time. This is the central theme explored by Morgan Housel in his widely acclaimed book, The Psychology of Money. Housel argues that the real reward of wealth isn't luxury or status, but the freedom to decide how you spend your time. This simple yet profound idea can reshape the way we think about money and happiness. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever found yourself working late into the evening, sacrificing weekends, or pushing through exhaustion in the hopes of a brighter future? It's a common narrative. Society often equates success with material wealth, the bigger house, the luxury car, the corner office. But while striving for these goals, we might unintentionally give up the very thing that could bring lasting happiness: time. Picture a bucket with a small hole at the bottom. No matter how much water you pour into it, the water eventually leaks out. This is a fitting metaphor for the relentless pursuit of wealth without a focus on freedom and balance. You might accumulate riches, but if your time is constantly drained by obligations, the fulfillment you seek may remain elusive. Consider Amazon's journey. In its early days, the company was far from the tech giant we know today. Jeff Bezos made countless risky bets, launching projects that often ended in failure. Yet, Amazon's remarkable success emerged from just two ventures: e-commerce and cloud computing through AWS. This phenomenon, often described as the long tail effect, teaches us a vital lesson. Not every effort will yield success, but a few significant wins can more than make up for the losses. It's a reminder that progress is rarely linear, and that embracing failure is part of the path to prosperity. Similarly, Warren Buffett's success story highlights the magic of compounding. Buffett didn't achieve his wealth overnight. He started investing at the age of 11 and continued to let his money grow year after year, decade after decade. By the time he was in his 60s, Buffett's fortune began to soar exponentially. The power of compounding, paired with unwavering patience, allowed him to build one of the largest fortunes in history. In contrast, many investors chase high returns, but fail to stay invested long enough to reap the benefits of compound growth. The stories of Amazon and Buffett reveal a common thread. The key to sustainable wealth lies not in short-term gains, but in long-term growth, perseverance, and the wisdom to know when enough is enough. These lessons aren't reserved for the ultra-wealthy. They can guide anyone, whether you're saving for retirement, building a small business, or simply trying to manage your personal finances. Moreover, true wealth isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about the quality of your life and the sense of fulfillment you derive from it. Imagine having the financial means to pursue your passions, spend time with loved ones, and invest in experiences that enrich your life. This is the essence of Housel's philosophy, that wealth grants the ultimate luxury: freedom. As we embark on this exploration of money, investment, and happiness, let's set aside the common misconceptions that equate wealth with extravagance. Instead, let's shift our focus to the often overlooked aspects of financial success: balance, contentment, and the ability to savor the present moment. The path to financial freedom doesn't require winning the lottery or founding the next big tech company. It begins with understanding the deeper value of money and making choices that align with your personal definition of success. By the end of this journey, you might find that wealth is not an end goal but a tool that, when used wisely, can unlock the most precious asset of all, time. And with time on your side, the possibilities for happiness and fulfillment are endless. The long tail effect and lessons from Amazon. When we think about Amazon today, it's almost impossible to imagine it as anything but the sprawling giant that dominates global e-commerce and cloud computing. Yet, at its core, Amazon's story is one of persistence, experimentation, and the long tail effect in action. This concept, popularized by Chris Anderson, describes how businesses can find success by catering to niche markets alongside the mainstream. Amazon's trajectory serves as one of the most vivid examples of this principle at work, and there are important lessons to be drawn from its approach. The foundation of Amazon's success. In the mid-1990s, Amazon began as an online bookstore. Jeff Bezos recognized the potential of the internet not just as a tool for communication, but as a revolutionary platform for commerce. Unlike traditional brick-and-mortar bookstores limited by shelf space, Amazon could theoretically offer every book in existence. This wasn't just a novel idea, it was a profound shift in how products could be sold. While bestsellers drove traffic, Amazon's ability to sell niche titles, books that might only sell a few copies a year, opened the door to the long-tail strategy. By offering a combination of mainstream and niche products, Amazon maximized its reach and profitability. Over time, this approach expanded far beyond books. Today, Amazon sells everything from household goods to rare collectibles, with each product contributing to the overall growth of the company. However, the long-tail effect didn't stop at retail. Amazon took it even further with its foray into technology services. E-commerce and AWS, two pillars of the long-tail strategy. Amazon's e-commerce platform is one of the most comprehensive applications of the long-tail effect in retail history. The company understood that by allowing third-party sellers to list their products, it could exponentially increase its inventory without taking on the risk of holding that stock itself. This marketplace model now accounts for a significant portion of Amazon's retail revenue. Whether it's handcrafted items, vintage goods, or specialized tools, Amazon provides a platform for countless small businesses and independent sellers to reach global audiences. But perhaps the most striking example of Amazon's long-tail approach is Amazon Web Services, AWS. In the early 2000s, Amazon invested heavily in building its cloud infrastructure, a move that seemed risky at the time. Many questioned why an online retailer would divert resources into technology services. Yet Bezos and his team recognized that businesses, both large and small, needed reliable cloud computing. AWS began by offering basic services, catering to tech startups and small enterprises. Over time, AWS expanded to serve massive corporations, but the long tail of smaller clients continues to play a critical role in its success. Learning from failure. The Amazon Fire Phone and beyond. One of the most remarkable aspects of Amazon's journey is its willingness to fail, and fail big. A prime example is the Amazon Fire Phone, which was launched in 2014 and flopped spectacularly. Despite heavy investment, the phone failed to attract consumers and was discontinued shortly after. Many companies might have shied away from bold innovations after such a high-profile failure. However, Bezos famously remarked, "If you think that's a big failure, we're working on much bigger failures right now. Some of them are going to make the Fire Phone look like a tiny blip." This mindset illustrates another critical lesson from Amazon. Failure isn't just accepted, it's expected. Amazon's long-tail approach to innovation means the company experiments frequently, knowing that most initiatives will not succeed. However, the rare successes, such as AWS, Prime, and the Echo, more than compensate for the projects that don't pan out. This principle can apply to businesses of all sizes. By fostering a culture of experimentation and learning, companies can unlock new opportunities and drive sustained growth. Applying the long-tail effect in personal finance and investment. The long-tail effect isn't confined to corporate strategy. Investors can also apply this concept to their portfolios. Consider the approach of legendary investor Warren Buffett. Although Buffett holds hundreds of stocks in Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio, only a handful account for the majority of returns. The long-tail principle suggests that not every investment needs to be a home run. A few key winners can generate outsized gains, compensating for the smaller, less successful investments. This is a powerful reminder for individual investors. Often, we focus too much on short-term losses or underperforming assets. However, by maintaining a diversified portfolio and allowing time for investments to grow, we can harness the long tail of financial success. The key lies in patience and the understanding that a few exceptional outcomes will drive the majority of long-term wealth. Balancing risk and reward. A crucial takeaway from Amazon's story is the importance of balancing risk and reward. Amazon didn't achieve its current status by playing it safe. Instead, the company took calculated risks, investing in areas with long-term potential. This approach, while not without setbacks, ultimately yielded transformative results. For businesses and individuals alike, the lesson is clear. Success often requires venturing into the unknown and embracing the possibility of failure. The long tail effect teaches us that even if the majority of attempts yield modest results, the rare breakthroughs can redefine industries and careers. Amazon's success is a testament to the power of the long tail effect and the value of relentless experimentation. By catering to niche markets, embracing failure, and continuously innovating, Amazon has not only achieved remarkable growth, but has reshaped entire industries. For those seeking to build lasting wealth and impact, the lessons from Amazon's journey offer invaluable insights. Whether in business, investing, or personal development, the principles of the long tail remind us that success often lies beyond the obvious, in the small, overlooked opportunities that collectively shape our futures. The extraordinary power of compound interest in investment. Imagine planting a small seed in your backyard. You water it, care for it, and over the years, that seed grows into a towering tree, providing shade, fruits, and beauty for decades to come. Now imagine if that tree could somehow plant more seeds around it, multiplying its impact. This simple analogy perfectly captures the essence of compound interest in the world of finance. Compound interest is often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world. It's a phenomenon that transforms modest, consistent efforts into extraordinary results over time. The beauty of compounding lies not in grand gestures or immediate gratification, but in patience, discipline, and the unwavering belief that small actions today will yield immense rewards in the future. A simple concept, with profound results. At its core, compound interest is the process where the returns you earn on an investment begin to generate their own returns. Essentially, your money starts working for you. The interest isn't just calculated on the initial amount you invest, but also on the accumulated interest from previous periods. This creates a snowball effect, where growth accelerates exponentially the longer you leave the investment untouched. To illustrate this, consider the example of two friends, Sarah and Mike. Sarah begins investing at the age of 25, putting away $5,000 annually at an 8% return. She continues this for just 10 years and then stops, leaving her investments untouched. Mike, on the other hand, waits until he is 35 to start investing the same $5,000 annually at 8%, but he continues for 30 years. By the time both are 65, Sarah's total contributions of $50,000 have grown to approximately $615,000. In contrast, despite contributing $150,000 over 30 years, Mike's portfolio is around $540,000. The key difference? Sarah started earlier, allowing her investments to compound for a longer period. The tale of Warren Buffett. Perhaps the most famous real-life example of the power of compound interest is Warren Buffett. Known as one of the greatest investors of all time, Buffett's success story isn't just about making smart investments, but about making them consistently over a long period. Astonishingly, 96% of Buffett's wealth was accumulated after he turned 60. This isn't because he suddenly discovered a better strategy later in life, but because he started investing at the age of 11 and let the magic of compounding work for decades. Imagine if Buffett had stopped investing at 30. By then, he was already a millionaire. However, his relentless focus on long-term investments and the power of compounding allowed him to grow his wealth exponentially. Today, his fortune exceeds $100 billion, underscoring that time, more than market timing or even extraordinary investment returns, is the most valuable asset for any investor. The simplicity and accessibility of compounding. The remarkable thing about compound interest is its accessibility. You don't need a vast fortune or insider knowledge to benefit from it. All it requires is time, consistency, and the discipline to let your investments grow. Consider this. If you invest $10,000 at an 8% annual return and simply leave it untouched for 40 years, it will grow to over $217,000. If you contribute just $200 per month to that same investment, the total skyrockets to more than $700,000. The formula is simple, but the patience to see it through is where most people falter. In an era where instant gratification is the norm, compounding challenges us to adopt a long-term perspective. The small sacrifices made today, whether it's skipping that daily expensive coffee or holding off on buying the latest gadget, can lead to life-changing financial freedom in the future. Compounding beyond finance. The principles of compounding extend far beyond just money. Knowledge, skills, relationships, and even personal growth can compound over time. Reading 10 pages of a book daily, practicing a skill for 15 minutes a day, or consistently nurturing meaningful relationships can lead to remarkable personal development and success over the years. Take the example of learning a musical instrument. Practicing for just 30 minutes each day may not seem like much, but over the course of a year, it adds up to over 180 hours. This steady, incremental progress compounds, turning beginners into seasoned musicians. The same applies to health and fitness. Regular, small workouts accumulate into improved strength, endurance, and overall well-being. Why people overlook compounding. Despite its proven effectiveness, many people overlook the power of compounding. One reason is that the initial results seem insignificant. In the first few years, growth appears slow, leading many to abandon their efforts prematurely. It's only after decades that the exponential nature of compounding becomes apparent. Another reason is the allure of quick wins and high-risk ventures. In contrast, compounding requires patience and a willingness to play the long game. It may not provide the excitement of day trading or speculative investments, but it offers something far more valuable, predictable, and sustainable growth. The importance of starting early. The most crucial takeaway about compounding is the importance of starting as early as possible. The longer your money has to grow, the more profound the impact. Even small amounts, when invested early, can grow into substantial sums. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Embracing the power of patience. In a world obsessed with overnight success, compounding teaches us the value of patience and perseverance. It reminds us that the most meaningful achievements whether financial, personal, or professional, are built slowly, over time. So plant your financial seeds today, nurture them consistently, and allow the extraordinary power of compound interest to shape your future. One day you'll look back and realize that those small steps, taken with unwavering patience, led to remarkable growth and abundance. The greatest value of wealth: freedom to control time. We often associate wealth with material possessions, luxurious homes, or impressive bank accounts, but true wealth transcends physical assets. It lies in the ability to control our time and shape our lives according to our desires. This concept may seem simple, but its implications are profound and deeply connected to our happiness. Consider the lives of people who dedicate themselves to accumulating wealth, tirelessly working long hours and sacrificing personal relationships. On the surface, their success is evident. They own expensive cars, dine in the finest restaurants, and live in grand houses. Yet, behind the scenes, many feel trapped in a cycle of endless responsibilities. They have wealth, but lack the freedom to fully enjoy it. Picture a man who works late into the night, his office illuminated while the city outside is asleep. He does this not because he loves his work, but because he believes that financial security is the key to happiness. His children grow up without him at the dinner table. His spouse yearns for quality time, and his health quietly deteriorates under the weight of stress. He may be financially rich, but his life is impoverished in the areas that truly matter. In contrast, imagine someone who has chosen a different path. She values her time as much as her income, prioritizing family dinners, spontaneous outings with friends, and time for her personal passions. She might not drive the latest car or wear designer clothes, but she possesses something far more valuable: the freedom to decide how her day unfolds. Her happiness stems not from what she owns, but from the richness of her experiences and the depth of her relationships. The lesson here is clear. While hard work and financial stability are essential, we must never sacrifice our health, relationships, or personal joy in the relentless pursuit of wealth. Money, at its best, should serve as a tool to enhance our lives, not a shackle that confines us. Ultimately, true wealth is the ability to wake up and decide what to do with your time, to spend it with loved ones, to engage in meaningful activities, and to savor life's simple joys. It's about living intentionally and freely, without being bound by the constant need to earn more. Remember, the most precious asset you have is not money, it's time. Use it wisely, for once it's gone, no amount of wealth can buy it back. True wealth: living frugally and investing wisely. When we think of wealth, images of luxury often come to mind: grand mansions, flashy cars, and extravagant vacations. However, true wealth is not about how much you can spend, but about how well you can build and sustain financial security. It's not defined by the illusion of prosperity, but by the assets you cultivate that generate passive income and ensure long-term stability. Take, for example, two individuals. The first flaunts their success: designer clothes, high-end gadgets, and expensive meals posted on social media. They seem to have it all. Yet beneath the surface, they're living paycheck to paycheck, relying on credit cards to maintain their lavish lifestyle. Each purchase brings a fleeting sense of satisfaction, but the mounting debt creates a silent storm, eroding their financial foundation. Now consider the second individual, who lives modestly and shuns the spotlight. They may drive an older car, live in a comfortable yet unassuming home, and rarely indulge in extravagant expenses. To outsiders, their life might seem ordinary, even frugal. Yet this person quietly builds wealth by saving diligently, avoiding unnecessary risks, and making wise investments. They focus on growing their financial assets, ensuring their money works for them, not the other way around. A well-known study of millionaires revealed a surprising truth: the truly wealthy often lead modest lives. Many of them budget meticulously, live below their means, and prioritize financial independence over social status. They understand that real wealth isn't about impressing others, but about securing a future free from financial worry. Let's reflect on the choices that lead to financial ruin. Some people succumb to the pressure of keeping up appearances, believing that wealth is defined by visible markers of success. They buy the latest gadgets, dine at the trendiest restaurants, and take out loans for luxury cars, all while sacrificing their long-term financial well-being. When unexpected challenges arise, like job loss or an economic downturn, their unsustainable lifestyle can quickly collapse. In contrast, those who value true wealth build a safety net. They understand the importance of saving for emergencies, investing in assets like stocks, real estate, or mutual funds, and diversifying their income streams. They plan for retirement not by hoping for a miracle, but by making consistent, disciplined choices today. The lesson here is profound. Avoid the trap of flashy consumerism and instead embrace the power of financial prudence. Real wealth is about securing freedom, not showcasing extravagance. When you focus on building long-term assets and making thoughtful investments, you not only protect yourself from financial instability, but also cultivate a life rooted in personal values and meaningful goals. True wealth is quiet and deliberate. It allows you to weather life's uncertainties with confidence and provides the means to support your aspirations. By living frugally and investing wisely, you don't just accumulate riches, you build a legacy that lasts for generations. Conclusion: financial success and true happiness. Financial success and genuine happiness are not found in the endless accumulation of material possessions. They arise from a long-term mindset, the freedom to control your time, and the wisdom to invest in what truly matters. True wealth isn't about the number of items you own. It's about building a life that aligns with your values and aspirations, one that offers both security and fulfillment. One of the most powerful tools for achieving sustainable wealth is compound interest, often called the eighth wonder of the world. Imagine planting a small seed in fertile soil. With care and patience, that single seed grows into a towering tree, producing countless more seeds over time. Similarly, small, consistent investments can multiply exponentially over the years, creating a financial safety net and opportunities for future growth. Another concept to embrace is the long-tail effect. In our fast-paced world, people often focus on immediate rewards, chasing quick gains or trendy ventures. But those who understand the long tail know that true value lies in persistence and endurance. Whether it's nurturing a skill, building a business, or growing an investment portfolio, the most profound rewards often come after years of dedication. Consider the story of a young professional who, despite a modest income, begins investing early. Each month, she sets aside a small portion of her earnings, letting time and compound interest work their magic. By the time she reaches retirement, her financial portfolio has grown beyond what she ever imagined, not because of a sudden windfall, but because of steady, disciplined efforts over decades. In contrast, her friend, who earned a higher salary but never prioritized investing, finds himself struggling later in life, wondering where all the money went. The lesson here is simple. Start early, remain patient, and focus on long-term goals. It's not about timing the market or chasing high returns. It's about time in the market, allowing your investments to grow steadily. But financial success alone is not the ultimate goal. It's about achieving a balance between ambition and contentment. Imagine a tightrope walker carefully navigating between 2 points. Too much focus on one side, and they risk losing their balance. Similarly, while it's important to strive for financial growth, we must also cultivate gratitude for what we have in the present. This balance is where true happiness resides. So, what can you do today? Take action. Begin investing, no matter how small the amount. Learn about the power of compound growth and the importance of diversifying your assets. Set clear financial goals, but don't forget to savor life's simple joys along the way. Ultimately, the journey to financial success and happiness is not a sprint, but a marathon. It requires discipline, patience, and a commitment to long-term values. By making thoughtful choices today, you can build a future that offers both financial security and the freedom to live life on your terms. That's the true essence of wealth. A life enriched not just by what you own, but by the time, freedom, and happiness you create.